Hello friends, welcome to our first demo video. Today I'm going to show you agents in action, and I want to stress that this is simply showing you, not telling you how to use them. It's a demo, and that'll be a little bit clear in a minute. For now, here's the setup. As you can see on the screen, I'm using OpenAI's ChatGPT, which all of you should know by now and be very familiar with. I'm on a pro account, which is $200 a month. That's the subscription price. I'm not recommending you have that tier of their plan. You most likely don't need it, unless, of course, these demos that I show you blow you away and they force your hand. Then by all means, get the pro subscription. I'm using it because I have access to these two agents that OpenAI has put out, and they're only on this pro subscription plan. And I'm using ChatGPT to show you agents and not some other agents because these two just happen to be the most accessible. There are other agents out there. They're more technical in nature, like coders and developers are using them, and they're not really for the rest of us. So that's why I'm using OpenAI's and ChatGPT. And like I said, you can access these today if you want. The first agent I'm going to show you in this video, and I'll have a second video as well. The first one's called Deep Research. This is the first, what I would say, first real agent that can actually do work for you. Or I guess I should just speak for myself. I get a lot out of it. I've been using it since they launched it less than a week ago. And it's been great. OpenAI, again, makers of ChatGPT, they say it's designed for finance and I think science, policy, engineering experts and stuff like that who need high quality research. And while that's true, there are a ton more use cases that I found and many other people have found, especially for people working in a business or running a business. Or, a common term these days is knowledge worker, which is another term for white collar workers, people who are in the professional field. And most of their work involves thinking and doing and really sitting at a computer. So let me walk you through it. That's the setup. Let me walk you through how it works. Again, ChatGPT main dashboard. You'll see here the deep research button. You can click on that. But what you also need to do, and this is where ChatGPT is confusing. They have all these models, and fortunately they announced that they will be combining all these soon. What you need to do is select O3 Mini, which I don't have time to get into, but it's their reasoning model. But that's what you have to choose. O3 Mini, Deep Research, and then you plug in a topic you want extensive research on. I'm putting in something that is, again, I wouldn't suggest you use it for this, literally just to show you how the thing works once you plug in a question. There are more rigorous things that we can do here. So, my prompt involves intermittent fasting. Again, it's something that I just came up with. Maybe people can relate to it. Maybe they can't. And this is a basic prompt. If you recall, a prompt is what you put into the chatbot. And this I would say is fairly basic for deep research. I'll show you a little bit more in a second. I'm just looking to understand intermittent fasting. So I'm gonna hit the enter button, and what's gonna happen is it's gonna come back to me with questions. I believe that's what it has done every time I've done this. Great. Okay. So then it's gonna want me to answer these questions. So I'll do that now, and I'll speed it up a little bit. Let's see what happens. This is where the agent part comes in. It is technically, and you're going to see this in a second, my screen's going to change and you'll see how it works. It is technically scouring the web for sources. And you notice that I put in my prompt, I want scientific studies, expert opinions, statistical data. You can change that. You can say, I just want news sources, or I want only academic papers that are peer reviewed for a particular topic. And here's where it starts going. When I say agent, and you've probably read the newsletter by now, this is what I mean by it's working autonomously. It's working on its own, and it is keeping track of that right here. So you can see how it's talking. This is the ChatGPT. Okay, let me see. I'm assessing a range of studies on. You can see how it's working and quote thinking. Now, you know me by now, I think, to know that I don't actually think it's thinking. I use that in quotes. You'll see how it keeps going. Now I've done this a couple dozen times. This sometimes takes 5 minutes. It has taken upwards of 20 minutes for some questions I've asked it, or some assignments, I guess you could say I've given it. This will probably be on the lower end of that. But you can see how it goes through each of these sources and analyzes them. And again, this is what I mean when I say agentic AI or agents. And you can see even at the bottom how it's thinking and how it's searching and how it's reading. It's not literally doing those things. It's bizarre that it says that, but it's just how they're doing this. And you can, again, scroll. And then when it's done, you can scroll back through this. So let me show you. Let's get to the end, and then I'll show you the sources and how it all comes together. Looks like we're done. Completed comprehensive analysis, 20 sources. Okay. You see what happened? Well, I think you can see what happened. Oh, sorry, I moved the screen. This was all the activity here that it went through. It's not necessary to go through it in detail. I can send you this if you want. Send you this link if you just email me. You can click on the sources. You can see each of the sources that it went through. And look, you can, if you don't like the sources, you don't agree with the sources, you can run the prompt again and be specific about the types of sources, or if you're concerned about left-leaning, right-leaning, all that kind of stuff. Like you can direct it where to go, just like you can a research analyst. And then on the left here, this is the report. It completed in 6 minutes. There are 20 sources, like I said, and this is how thorough it is. I'm not going to read it, and I'm not going to have you read it. I, again, just want to show you how thorough the thing is and how it quotes inline sources, or how I should say it has inline sources, and you can see it all throughout. It also leverages the fact that this is a large language model, and I asked it to give me its opinion. And so throughout, and I use opinion loosely, I mean, just gets conclusion and areas of strongest evidence. I mean, that's the point in doing this. I want to make sure it has this scientific evidence. And you can see, and you can also tailor it by saying, I'm a 70-year-old male and I'm looking to do this, or I'm concerned about this. I have these comorbidities. You can put other things into the prompt if you're interested in this intermittent fasting, and it will give you more specific. It will research and leverage sources that are more relevant to you, and you can see all the references here. Okay, this is an agent. Technically, it is, you are giving it something to do, and that thing that you are giving it to do is go do research, be a research analyst. And that's how you should think of a tool like this if you end up getting into it and using it. It's an analyst or researcher who goes out, collects sources, reads the material, and really, as a great analyst does, or researcher, they follow their own curiosity. It's kind of that sixth sense that good analysts have. And they finish it off with a report based on what they found. You can think of it like a junior lawyer writing a brief, an analyst looking at market factors. I think that's right. I'm not a lawyer, but I know market factors. Analysts looking at market factors. Research assistant analyzing like syndicated sources to do market research or secondary research. You prompt these things as if you're giving instructions to someone like that, and you're asking them what you want and what you want them to go do. That is the deep research agent.